All right, guys. Good evening. It is May 10th. Yes, May 10th, 2016. And welcome to our new name, Fit Boss Nation. Love it. Team call. So, all right, guys. So I'm just going to jump right in because I know Ray works very late and he's getting coffee and getting tired. But here's the deal. The reason I wanted to have this call is obviously, or actually have my husband on, is not because he's just my husband, who I love and adore, but because what he is going to share with us, I believe, watching from the inside and watching him over the last couple of years kind of go through a struggle and then a triumph, I think it's really relative.
Lee, let me call you back.
Ooh.
I'll call you back in like 45 minutes, all right?
He's ruining my call.
You got it. Bye.
I think what he's been through what he's been through and watching also what I do and I have to say he's been very supportive from the very beginning. So I'm very blessed to have that from Ray. He's been very supportive of Beachbody, has always been supportive of me pursuing this opportunity and has watched me and supported me the entire way. Having said that, I think his view on things, he understands the Beachbody community very well. He interacts with my coaches all the time. He's like our team mascot. He's just like the voice of reason most of the time. And we go to him, honestly, like for just very good wisdom and advice. So the reason I brought him on today is because he, I don't know if, most of you know, but maybe some of you don't. He got the opportunity to work for Grant Cardone, one of our amazing mentors. And he's been down there now 3.5 weeks. I haven't seen him in 3.5 weeks, which just makes me very sad. But the topic of this call is whatever it takes. And I want to turn it over to Ray so that he can share with you kind of where we were, what happened to him personally, and now seeing the inside of like a machine where they really do practice what they preach. That's what he tells me every single day. He's like, Ange, you don't understand. He's like, what they say and what they do is exactly the same thing. Like they practice every day in and day out. And what he tells me that what goes on the inside and to make things happen makes me look like a bonbon eater sitting on my couch. Right. So the whole point is that we can all pursue our dreams, but the amount of energy and work that it takes is probably 10x or even 100x of what we think. So I want to turn it over to my lovely husband, Ray. Ray, if you don't mind, start from wherever you feel comfortable.
Yeah. Listen, as you guys know our story through Angela, and it's been a long road. And the good thing is we stayed on the same page. And like she said, she was trying different things, and it took a while to build a business. But as long as I was there to support her, I think she was able to, drown out the noise of the negativity that was around her with the other people. So, it's being supportive and everything, I think, helps you get through a lot of the crap that you go through.
Right. So just there may be people on the call that don't know our entire story. So do you want to bring them back to like 2008 for a second?
No, I'd rather just go into like what's going on with today and like how, and I'll go backwards, but
okay.
You mentioned something that I want to talk about. It's like, you're thinking that you're doing all this stuff, like, I made 5 phone calls today and, all right, I didn't get through anybody, but tomorrow I'll make another 5. No, it's like we have to make a minimum of 200 phone calls, be on the phone for 4 hours every day. And we're monitored 3 times a day. And if you're not at certain bullet points, they're like, come on, man, you gotta go. So it's like, the amount of effort just in the phone calls and you're between your 9 o'clock and your 6 o'clock day, there's no white space. That you don't. If you have white space, you're doing something wrong. So you got to just constantly go, go, go. It multitask and everything. This is like a day in the life, and it's just insane. And then basically you watch Grant. He comes flying into the office at like 9:07, sits down. Okay, what are we doing? As he's sitting down, he's sending out a tweet. He's sending a text. He's taking a picture. He's Snapchatting. He's doing 4 things, but still listening to the input that's coming. And they're like, okay, break. And everybody's just runs out. And it's like, it's a machine. It's like, you're just gone. And then next thing you know, he's doing 5 other things. And if you want to have a conversation with him, it's a walking conversation. It's like, okay, boom, 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 boom. And you can't keep up with him. So watching it from the top, it trickles down because you're like, God, all right, if he's doing all this, I got to keep that up. You know, so the inside of this place is, yeah, you know, they keep putting stuff out. And you think, yeah, you know, how they're putting stuff out, but, you know, what is it really like inside? Because, you know, Angela and I have this thing where you say, hey, everything's not what it seems. No, this is exactly what it seems, and it's actually worse inside. I think they put out less than what's actually going on inside. You know, so what happened today was this one guy just got in, got a confirmation. It came in, money hit for a $200,000 sale. There was not one like, woo, good job, how you doing? La, da, da, da. No, it was like, you know, sucks being you today. And they're like, why? It's like, now you got to build your pipeline. It's like for every one deal that you close, you got to put 3 more in your pipeline. So like this kid just closed $200,000. He's getting a ridiculous paycheck at the end of next month. But yet now he's got to be like, oh man, I got to fill my pipeline. I got to, you know, make 20,000, you know, I got to make 20 calls and I got to do it. So it's just like, you have to keep going and going and going. And me being in my first few weeks, I'm just like, wow, these guys hustle. Like everybody talks about hustle this, hustle that. This is the true hustle. And it's eye-opening. And you are not, you're never prepared to go to jump into that. It's no matter what happens and how much you think you're prepared, it's a game changer. You know, so after my training, like we train. We have a schedule. So you wake up at 6 o'clock, 6:01 you work out. If you don't work out, you're not going to be successful because they want you working out, get your heart rate going, get your blood pumping. 30 minutes of workout, then you're doing your training for work. They want you doing a half an hour or 45 minutes of training before 9 o'clock. So because I live a half an hour away, I got to wake up at 5 o'clock, work out, get my training in, get ready, and then drive into work. So then between 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock before the meeting, you're training, you're getting your numbers ready, you're getting everything ready for work. And it's just like, okay, I woke up at 5. I didn't have a sec, like looking at Facebook, looking at any outside thing is wasting time, because if you waste a little bit of time and you're not up on your studying or your training, now you got to scramble for that. And then if you got to scramble to get your training done, you're not going to be able to you're not going to create your emails. You can't create your emails. Now you can't send out your email blast to your 200 contacts that you made, and now they're not going to see you for the day, and now you're going to be forgotten. So it's just all a process, and everything you do should be written down, spelled out on a calendar, no matter what it is. Eat, wake up, work out, shower, eat, the whole thing, all the way to 9 o'clock. And then they say at 9 o'clock, you can take a rest. Rest for an hour, talk to your wife, watch a TV show, and then go to bed. So, like, it is so regimented there, and people are so robotic. but we're dealing with probably the best salespeople I've ever seen in my life. So if you have to deal with, if you're dealing with an objection, these guys will just like sit there at their desk and they're like, say that, and they don't even know what the guy said. And when you just say, oh, okay, well, I understand, and they just yell out, say that. And you're like, oh my God, that's exactly what I need to say. These guys know exactly how the conversation's going. They know where you are in that conversation, and they can jump into a conversation without even hearing it or knowing what's going on. I mean, that's how good and how trained these guys are. It's all about training. Like these guys train. They listen. Some of them been there for 2.5 years. They listen to his books 5 times over. They listen to all the modules on Cardone University over and over again. Every once in a while, they'll listen to somebody new. But they're just constantly doing 2 to 3 hours of just training. So it's like, it's really overwhelming. But in order to be successful, you have to just constantly train. You have to know your product. You have to know your client. You have to anticipate what your client or your customer is going to say before they say it. And that's when you do that, you're going to do 2 things. You're going to the client is going to know, wow, this girl's a professional. This guy's a professional. And B, they're going to be like, yeah, you're right. You know, once you agree with them and get them on common ground, they release and they put their arms down. They're not in that fighting position. And it's easier to talk to them when they're more relaxed. So these are the things that we get trained on every day. Just basically when you first walk in, I'm like, good, great, I understand. That's like everybody says the same exact thing. And now that the more and more of the videos I watch from Grant, every saying he says, everybody says it. No matter what it is, nobody has their own original line. It's all Grant's lines 24/7 in this place. So it's overwhelming, but you know what? You just gotta put in your time and just get after it. And what you think you're doing, you need to like this is where 10X comes in. Like what you think you're doing, what you think you were doing, you got to multiply that by 10, because if you want to be at the top of your game, that's what these people are doing. You know, if you're making 10 calls, you got to make 100. If you're making 100 calls, you got to make 1,000. It's that simple. It's just repetition and volume. It's volume. And Grant even says it. He goes, I don't care. I'll try to close 3,000 people, and if I only close 3, I don't care. But I'm trying to close them. If you don't try to close somebody, you'll never close anybody. So it's no matter what you're doing, no matter what the conversation is, go to close that person. Doesn't matter. You want to buy things Shakeology? Hey, here it is. Here's the stuff. Let's do it. Let's roll. Because if you don't, okay, you want to buy Shakeology here, you know what, I'll talk to you later, and maybe that person's gone. What he says is, even if that person doesn't buy, you at least put yourself in the game to get a no. So what, you get the no. You'd rather get a no than not be in the game. So that, like, everything he says is just so on point. And for a guy like me who was always so like passive, like, oh, okay, no problem. Oh, you want to sign up? Okay, maybe sign up next month. No, now it's like, forget it. You got to go in for the kill, go after everybody, and try to close no matter what you're doing. So I've only been there 3 weeks, and after my 2nd week, I'm starting to do another business with a guy that one of our neighbors, and he's like, go do what you got to do, go meet your people, and go out there. So I had a friend, a third-party guy, introduced us to really like a power, like a big time player. And we talk to the people that own the company. So this kid's like, well, you know, let's go in this way, let's go in that way. I'm like, no, this is how we're doing it. We're going right in, and we're going in for the close. He's like, well, you really can't. I'm like, watch me. I got on the call, 5-minute call. By the end of the call, they're like, whenever you're ready, send us the list, and we're buying from you guys. Got off the phone with them. My friend is like, who the hell are you? It doesn't matter. You just have to go and close. Like Grant always says it all the time. You're going to go home to your kids and say, you know what, I didn't get that deal, or I didn't close a deal today, or whatever. I'm like, well, why didn't you close the deal today? Well, I didn't ask. You got to ask. You know, I'm just blabbing stuff because my brain hurts. I'm overwhelmed, but I'm just so excited, and like basically my life has changed, my mind has changed, and even when I'm talking to Angela, I'm like, oh, you're crazy. You got to do this, and she's like, who the hell are you? You know, so I'm just saying, guys, you gotta flip it around. You gotta flip it around, and you have to take your life into your hands and really expand on it, because if you don't do any business, it's not the dumb clients who don't understand what you're talking about, or this one who's like, she's lazy, she's never going to sign up anyway. It's your fault you don't close. It's your responsibility. Everything that I'm learning now it's your responsibility. It's your fault. You have to take and own everything. Now I went into work today. I ran out of names. We load our names into, it's called a machine gun. I ran out of bullets. And the dude's like, what happened? I'm like, my fault. I ran out of bullets. I'm like taking leads. I'm trying to call leads, and now I'm losing my 4 hours of talk time because I have no more bullets. So I'm like trying to pull names off the internet and scrambling. But it was my fault. I ran out of names. And my phone, they couldn't hear me on the other end. And I'm like, man, this is my fault. You know, so I had to I took out my cell phone. You can connect your cell phone to the thing and have my earpiece in. So now I'm talking with my cell phone. But I missed my 4 hours by 15 minutes today because I was trying to get my cell phone synced up and trying to pull my numbers. But, you know, I couldn't say, oh man, it was my fault. You know, the names and the numbers and this guy took me. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. Why didn't you do your 4 hours? My fault. Well, that's how it is. Take responsibility, take ownership, and make sure that you're prepared. You know, and I don't know. It's my ramble. So if you guys have any questions of like what's going on or. Right.
So Angie posted in the chat that she would love to hear, and I agree with her. I would love to hear because I know so much. Obviously, you're my husband. I know a lot.
Right.
But where you were mentally, like let's say 2012, 13, 14, where you were then,
right,
and what you've learned and how starkly different it is now. So like share where you were and how you got to where you are now.
Right. So 2007, 2008, I thought I was at the top of my game. I thought, this is great. I was working for a company that was the biggest company in the industry. And, you know, it was easy to get clients. It was easy to get in front of people because we were the biggest name out there. You know, then we had some setbacks with turnover, so it made it a little bit harder. But, you know, again, people were coming to you, so I didn't know how to like go and find leads. We didn't need to go find leads. So then we lost because of Madoff. The whole company lost everything, and then went from 2008 to 2012 of just being stale because we weren't doing any sales. We weren't doing any. I was just putting out fires. So I launched. Then we went into 2013 where we launched our business, our learning center. Now I had to get those wheels turning again. Start learning where to get clients, where to pick up business, and things went good, but all of a sudden there was a little bit of a turn in our progress, and we probably have no reason why, because we were putting out a great product, and we were rocking and rolling. But then there was a turn, and we were just like, wow, this sucks. All right, how do I go out and get these clients, or where do I find new clients? And it was just like, I don't know. Like it was a block. And then because we were losing more than we were bringing in, it was just, you just saw your energy. My energy just went down, and just went down, down, down. And, probably like 2014, mentally hit rock bottom. And, and you didn't know it. You didn't realize it. You just keep going, and you're like, yeah, I'll make 5 calls tomorrow, or, I'll put that out. And, you're just living off your white space and doing nothing, thinking you're doing everything, but doing nothing. But, it was a time where you don't realize what's going on until you get confronted and basically say, you need help, and you need to like get out of your own way and have people help you. And once that happened, it's like Angela, my mother, just jumped in. It's like, let's get you out of this. It's like, all right, like, what am I doing? What's going on? And then it takes you a minute to realize, like, holy shit, look what happened. Look at my trail. Look what I did. I did nothing in 5 years. So I got to go out there, and I just got to pick myself up, because, yeah, my wife and my mother help pick you up, but no one's going to pick you up. You got to do it yourself, and you got to really dig down and see who you are, and get inside yourself to get you out of whatever funk you're in. If you're in a funk, if you're in a depression, it's like you need to lift yourself out, because, only you can get yourself out. Yeah, people can talk to you, people can help you, but you got to really fight for yourself. And if you don't do that, you're just going to stay stagnant. So you got to fight and do whatever you have to do. So I think my life changed, and my mind changed, yeah, after, I read the 10X book, and it changed. But yeah, you read the book and you're like, oh, all right, yeah, I'm changed, da-da-da. I think once we saw Grant on that call, and watching the guy and him being so interested in what all you guys are doing and what Andrew's doing, and it just made me think, like, this guy has something, and he's building an empire. And I want that. I want that for myself. I want it for my family. So we were like, let's go do this. Let's try to send him a video and see what happens. And like, holy crap, between Tara, the way Tara got into them, and this process, now being on the inside, this process isn't as easy as it was. I mean, like, they're like, well, I don't know if you have what it takes, and this, that, the other thing. Like, I sent in the resume. They called me. I met with them. In 3 days, I was in. So they obviously saw something inside me that would benefit the company. So now I'm inside, and after 2 weeks, like, that's when my brain like turned and really changed, Angie, where like, yeah, I'm still me on the outside, where I want to be nice and try, but Grant talks about being nice. Nice comes from a French word called silly and foolish. Nice doesn't close deals. So like, I got to turn that off for 8 hours and be nice closing Ray, because there's a difference. So you got to learn how to push up on somebody or pull back. But I think now I know where I need to be. My brain is at a point where I know how to get what I need to get done, and I'm still a long way off. And every day is you have to grow, but every day I'm getting better. Today was a setback, but I'm like, you know what? There's tomorrow. Like, I can make 450 calls tomorrow. And I was good with that, because I know where I am now. So I was okay with taking that bad day and turning that around to make it a positive day. So, it's hard. There's so many things that are going on in my head right now, and I'm still trying to get everything together, but I just take it one day at a time. You're also, I'm living down here. I haven't seen my kids, my wife in 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That in itself, I mean, I got these guys, they come, these sales guys, they come, hey, how you doing? Make sure I'm all right, because they know they've been through it. Everyone there has either slept on a floor, shared a bedroom with some dude off Craigslist, or basically left their family for 6 months. So I can't go in there and like, boo-hoo, I don't have my family with me. They're like, so did that guy. So did that guy. That guy slept on a floor. That guy slept in his car for 4 months. Why are you special? They're still here. And it sounds mean, it sounds ruthless, but it's the truth. And they committed, and I committed to doing this. Angela supported me in doing it. Angela pushed me out the door, but I'm committed, and I need to be committed because if I fail, I got to go back home and go to my kids. Like, yeah, I couldn't cut it, or it just didn't work out for me. So it's like they're gonna be like, well, you tried something and failed, and now so I can fail. Like I want to set a good example, and that's all we try to do for our kids is just set that good example and really work as hard as I possibly can. So I mean, Angie, I don't know if I answered your question, Angie.
Hold on, let me unmute Angie, because Angie's always good at like this.
Right.
Go ahead, Angie.
Hey Ray, you have me in tears over here. I was having a bad day, but anyway, I just love you guys. I just love your story. I think for all of us, as whatever period of time that we've been coaching, we need to understand that if we truly want to make that change, we actually have to get up and do that work, and we can't sit around waiting for anybody else. I think that's the example that you've shown us. I mean, I knew you before, kind of through Angela. So I know a lot of your struggles. So I'm so extremely happy for you guys as a family. And I know how difficult it is to be away from your girls. And I just completely applaud you. And I think that, sharing this and giving us a piece of that inside experience has hopefully fueled a lot of people that are on this call, because
Right.
I know it's fueled me. And I know you're going to be amazing. And it's knowing the history just puts it all together.
Right. No, you're right. And I think if I didn't have that history, I don't think I would have been able to do it.
Right.
But because that's there, and because I could appreciate not wanting to go there again, and seeing what some of these, even making a fraction of what some of these guys are making is still, a huge accomplishment. But you know what? I don't want to settle for that. Like, I want to be in line with these guys, or I have my goals, and that's where I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And but there's definitely ways to shatter those goals. But there's definitely ways of, you're either going to end up with zero or shatter your goals.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm working towards shattering them, and I'm putting in work. Like, I've never put in this much work in anything before, other than the construction of the learning center. But then after it was done, I always relied on, our business is going to grow because of our name and stuff like that. And, and it didn't happen. And Victoria, who's our lead instructor, does an awesome job with our kids, but it was my job to go out and bring those kids to her. So, and then once I started losing that part of my job, I'm like, all right, now not only am I failing my family, now I'm failing Victoria at her, trying to do her job. And, I walked around banged up for a while, and I'm not going back. So, Ange, if I don't have to see you for another 6 months. I gotta do what I gotta do.
I'm gonna have to then fly back to New York and rescue her.
Yeah.
So and the thing is, the hardest thing I think Andrew's having to deal with is a lot of the negativity around, because people don't understand. They don't understand what we're trying to do. They don't understand what Andrew's trying to do.
Yeah.
You know, Andrew, what did I say today? Like, don't listen to society because it only creates slavery, and society doesn't want anybody to grow. They want to society creates slavery in the middle class. So you cannot listen to society because it's just going to keep you down. And that was actually a quote from Grant on Facebook today, and like, I can understand it. I can see it. One thing that I'm learning is you're getting a lot of these young kids, because I answer the phones a lot after hours. Dude, I'm 20 years old. I just bought Card on You like a month ago, man. You changed my life. I'm 20 years old. I made $40,000 in 6 months. Like, I've never seen that kind of money. I'm like, well, what? Like, why did Grant? He's like, I don't know what it was, but the way he talks to me, the way he did, I just did a fraction of what he tells me, and I got clients like that. I don't know what to do with it. I have to slow it down because I'm getting too many clients. So don't ever say that. Take everything on that you can. So you know, not only are we, you know, we're coaching also these kids or these people when they call. So you know, they think when they call in, they're looking for someone to help them as well. So I mean, we're in there. We're coaching kids. We're trying to sell them. You know, in 3 months, I'm going to be able to rattle things off like crazy. But until then, it's hard work. It's hard work.
And that, like, so the guys, the whole reason I wanted Ray to be on this call is because obviously, you know, I talk to him on a daily basis, very limited, but I do talk to him. Everything that he has told me about what he does and what his daily routine is like is perfectly aligned with what our Beachbody, like, 4 vital behaviors are, right? So if you heard what Ray said, he wakes up, he works out like a minute after he wakes up, right? His employer actually encourages and almost, I want to say, mandates that they have to be in tip-top physical shape because the job is so grueling and the hours are so long. And Grant basically preaches that you have to be physically present and alive to do your job well.
You have to do like 25, 30 minutes of work. He doesn't want you being in tip-top physical shape because then you're working out too much and you're not training.
22-minute
hardcore is perfect. Yes?
Perfect. 22 minutes, T25, perfect.
Excellent. So then what does he do after that? Like, he calls me every morning. He has to do, right, what, six training videos before you even get to the office?
A minimum of 6.
So,
but like, because you're a new guy, you're held to a higher standard. You need to do at least 9 to 12.
Right. So that's your personal development, right? That's your training.
That's your personal development.
That's also you learning
product knowledge.
Your product. Exactly. So it's the same thing that we do, guys. And this is why I'm saying, like, I wanted to bring Ray on because what he does in the real world applies to us, and it's not a secret. Like, none of this is a secret. And I think that I'm definitely guilty of this, that I'm like, oh, I'm doing so much. But when I see Ray, like I said at the beginning of this call, like, I literally feel like I eat bonbons on the couch and, like, don't compare to what he's doing. So it's all available for us. It's all there. But what's shocking for us and what we've been talking about over the last 3 weeks is, like, how much you actually have to do to get to what you want, right? Like, if you want that multi-million, if you want that freedom, I mean, I got to be very honest, like, Ray and I right now are chasing freedom. We're chasing freedom from a paycheck. We're chasing freedom from being mediocre and being stuck in the middle class. I don't even know if we're middle class anymore. We're like, I don't know what we are, but we're chasing freedom to, like, I want freedom to be with my girls. You know, if I'm moving to Miami and Ray is working so much, I want the freedom to be home with my girls and take care of them. And I heard this amazing quote today that somebody said, you know, you work 5 days a week, you work Monday through Friday, in exchange for 2 days on the weekend. The last time I checked, kids grow Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, not just on Saturday and Sunday. It's like you're missing. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm missing my kids developing on Monday through Friday, you know? And I never thought I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. I still don't. I want to be a work-at-home mom. But right now, you know, what I'm seeing from Ray is what is it going to take for me to get there? And what do we have to do to kind of fulfill our dreams? But
yeah.
And then, you know, like Ray said, the client, right? They know their client. They know exactly who they're talking to. They know exactly what they need. They know their pain points, right? You know what, you know, Ray tells me all the time, he's like, you know, we have to talk to them. If you're talking to a car dealership, you're talking to them about numbers. You're talking to them about how many sales they made. So if we're talking to our clients, we have to talk to them about, okay, you don't have time? Well, I've got this product, 22-minute hardcore. Or you don't know what to eat? I've got this wonderful product where you can put your foods and portion them out into a container. So it's all kind of the same thing, which is different products in there.
Yeah.
I mean, Ray, what do you...
You got to try...
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
So we're taught to trade their... it's called a DBM, your dominant buying motive. Like, what is it that you need? And like Ange said, if there's someone who is struggling with weight, but they can't, you know, they got a bad back or they you know, have a broken leg, they can't, so you got to put them on, like, say, a different type of workout. Say somebody, yeah, my DBI, I want to put on weight with muscle, then there's another product. So you have to extract from them without them knowing what you're trying to get from them, what they want. And we call it the DBM. And once you get that, then you got to dig into that DBM to see why they want that. Because you know what? That might not be what they want. Because they just think they want to grow, or they want to get bigger, or they want to get small, but maybe it's not. So it's like, this is how we are going in and being trained. And, you know, what my manager told me today was, he goes, after you guys are done with my training, you'll never be broke again. He goes, because you'll go anywhere and be able to sell anything to anyone, you know, and that's what they say. It's like, all right, you might not be able to make it here. You can go to any car dealership after being here for 2 or 3 months and outsell anybody, because obviously you got to know the product. So, you know, it's great. But then some other kid came up with a line today, was somebody told me that they don't want to buy a product because they're on a budget. Dude's like, that's awesome. He goes, 50% of our clients have called us and said they're on a budget, and now they're not on a budget anymore after getting our program. Meaning they bought our program and now they're exceeding their income that they thought they would by tens of thousands of dollars. They're not on a budget anymore. So it's like, you know, we know what our clients want. And if we don't, we extract it and we find out why, and then we dig deeper. And that's how we get to know them, what they want and where to put them. And once you do that, once you figure that out, you're going to get somebody to get results that they really deserve. And that's going to make your business grow even further. Because if you put somebody on a product that they think they want, but they really don't, they're not going to get results. They're going to be like, this product sucks. I don't know why I did it. You know, well, you should have asked more questions and figured out, hey, you know what? Sally said that she really wanted to lose weight, but, you know, she would do whatever it takes, but really Sally wasn't ready to do it. 30, you know, Insanity Max 30 was too hard. We should have put her on T25. You know, so something like that, where she quit Max 30, but she would have hung in there on T25. So guys, just learn your client and don't be afraid to ask hard questions. Those hard questions are going to get you the answers that you need to put them on the right thing. So don't be afraid to ask that hard question. And don't be afraid to close them. Close them. What's the worst that they're going to say? No? The more no's, the better. Who cares your closing ratio is 10? I'd rather have a 10% closing ratio than not close anybody or not ask anybody to close. So always go, ask the hard questions and close. That's it.
Amen.
Amen.
Does anybody want to put any questions for Ray in the chat box? We'll take a couple of minutes and then we'll wrap it up because it's getting late and I know you need to go to sleep so you can wake up and work out. If not, I'll let you guys go. No? All right. Thank you, honey.
Good. Time for bed. No, time to study. Yes.
All right, babe. All right, guys. I hope that was helpful a little bit from the inside and some insight into the day in the life at Grant Cardone's office.
And another thing is every time you sell a customer, you got to get 2 or 3 more in your pipeline. So keep growing your pipeline. Grow your pipeline. As much as you think you're growing it, grow it even bigger. So the more you got in your pipeline, the more you're going to be able to close. That's it. And then stop worrying about your success points, whatever, because on to the next one.
Success is important, okay?
Whatever.
Back it up.
I understand it's important, but you know what? On to the next one. That's it.
Is Success Club not important, Angie? I'm sorry.
Yes, it is.
Don't be a little bitch.
It's so funny, guys.
It is.
They just came out with the hats, the 10X hats, but on the back, I'm like, oh, great, they got small ones I get from my kids. Yeah, but unfortunately on the back, they're like, yeah, don't be a little bitch. I'm like, yeah, that's going to be a problem.
Meanwhile, guys, you have to know something about our kids. They are so, first of all, they sit here and they watch me, right? They want to know. Every other day I get a question from my older daughter, like, what am I doing to become an elite coach? Like, what have I done? What have you done for me lately? And Ray made a sale, like his second week, Ray?
In the first week and a half.
So he, we get on video chat that night and he's like, all right, guys, he's like, I made my first sale, blah, blah, blah. So Sophia wants to know, like, how much, what's the percentage of commission? And every single day she asks him, did he get the check yet? So like, you talk about accountability. Our kids are like, okay, when are we going to get the house with the pool? And did you close any deals today?
I love it. That's great.
Find yourself some little really snot-nosed accountability partners.
Right.
Right.
The 6-year-old.
So guys, Angie's the one who can create and make stories really, really good, and not in whatever. I'm really not good at this, so hopefully I was able to get across what you guys needed from me, and it was good to get out some of the stuff that I had in my head. And if you guys need any questions or have any questions, you guys can hit me on Facebook or whatever, but hopefully I was able to help.
I think you were great, love.
Okay.
And for the record, I was never, ever, ever disappointed by anything that either one of you guys did, ever.
I know. So,
we love you, man.
I love you guys so much, and we all went through the dip together, but we're coming up on the other side.
Yeah. All right.
All right, guys. Good night. Thank you so much. Hon, I'll talk to you later.
How do I get off?
I'm just going to stop recording.